vlog. I'm working from home today because I'm waiting for a delivery to come to the house. I've been waiting for this delivery for about 2 months, so I'm not gonna miss it. I'm just doing a bit of morning skincare. I'm not gonna put any makeup on because I'm going out later tonight, so I'll do my makeup then. But I am gonna go for a walk. It's really sunny, and when I'm working from home, I like to try and get outside in the sunshine as early as I can. When I'm working from home, I really have to make sure that I stay in a good routine, because otherwise I get really distracted by anything that needs doing in the house. So I have to be really quite disciplined with my time when I'm working from home. And I'm gonna try and be really disciplined today, which is why I've got up so early, even though I'm working from home. I thought I would vlog from home today and do a work from home day. I am going out this evening, but for most of the day I will be here. I'm doing my morning skincare, as I said. I'm not going to put any makeup on because I am going out later, so I'll do my makeup then, and I think I'll do a bit of a Q&A when I'm getting ready. I put a story out on my Instagram last week seeing if anybody had any questions for me. I had quite a few, so I'm going to try and answer some of the more common ones. I'm just putting on these Dr. Barbara Sturm eye patches. This is my second pot. I wear them pretty much every day. I feel like they really help with my under eye bags in the morning. I put the thicker part of the patch under my eye. They're really soothing. I'll probably wear these on my walk because they don't dry out and they do stay. I also didn't tell you what else I used. I've been using these Medicube Zero Pore pads. They're great for getting off any extra makeup and they don't dry out your skin. I also put this Dr. Dennis Gross eye cream on underneath my eye patches. This is their Fill and Repair eye cream. I'm gonna do my teeth quickly. I've recently been using this Anua Rice Glow Toner just to prep my skin for makeup or whatever else I'm putting on today. Like I said, I'm not putting makeup on yet. I don't want to put loads of stuff on my skin whilst I'm working from home, but I still want to look put together. I've been testing out a few different sunscreens underneath my makeup because a lot of them break me out or they just don't sit well under makeup at all. The La Roche-Posay one is okay. I don't think it sits perfectly underneath my makeup. The Glossier one is also quite good, but I think it breaks me out slightly. I don't need to do anything to my eyebrows because I had them threaded a couple of weeks ago, and I think they just make the biggest difference to your face. I'm gonna go for a walk now. I'm just gonna go and walk around our local park. It's so pretty in the sunshine and it doesn't take me too long. I'll leave these patches on whilst I'm on a walk and I'll just put some sunglasses over the top and then we'll come back and have some breakfast. I usually listen to a podcast or an audiobook when I go on my walks. Today I'm listening to The Rest is Politics. They've got a new episode out. This podcast is about 50 minutes long, so we'll see if I need to listen to anything else whilst I'm out. See you later. I went to the shop on my way back from my walk and picked up some stuff for lunch. I'm going to make a goat's cheese salad. Make breakfast now. I then get to work. When I'm working from home, I usually make a yogurt bowl, so I think that's what I'm going to make this morning. I don't know what it is about normal yogurt, but I find it tastes really weird to me. It has like a funny aftertaste. Same with milk, which is why I always have almond milk in my coffees. I've been trying to increase my fibre and protein intake. I've been putting ground flax seeds and ground pumpkin seeds, etc. in my yogurt bowl. I usually use one that has all the things already ground up in it, but I only have the flaxseed one at the moment. I'm gonna add some whole pumpkin seeds as well. I have blueberries to add today as my fruit. I'm really excited for strawberries to come back in season. They're so good on a yogurt bowl. But blueberries are also tasty. These ones look really good. They're big and juicy. I'm gonna put some gluten-free granola in the bowl. So I've just got this one from the supermarket. It definitely has a bit too much sugar in it, but I'm only gonna add a tiny bit for a crunch. Finally, I'm gonna add some almond butter. This is my favorite one from Pippin Nut. It's a bit more expensive, but it tastes so much better than peanut butter. Of that on top. It's such a delicious breakfast. It keeps me really full and stops me from snacking all the way to lunchtime. So I'm gonna go eat this. Actually, I'm gonna make a coffee first. We have this absolutely gorgeous coffee machine from Ninja, but I just can't figure out how to use it. So we keep using our Nespresso. This is the Virtuo machine. I think it makes such good coffee for how quick and easy it is. I do want to learn how to make a good coffee using this, so I might do it now because I am working from home. But we do love the Nespresso and we have so many pods to use up. I'm still using the ones that we got from Christmas. So I'm gonna go and make some lunch. Sorry if you can hear the washing machine. I've had a lot of washing to get done today, so I've basically just had it on all morning. I'm gonna make a goat's cheese salad for lunch. It's my absolute favorite lunch to make. It was the meal that I basically ate every day when I was working from home in COVID. I like to use butter lettuce because it just tastes so much better. It's so quick to make and you don't need to do any cooking, which is why I like to have it at lunchtime. I also think it's quite healthy, except for maybe the dressing. I'm gonna bring you down so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just chopping up the cucumber. There's quite a few veggies in this meal. I usually put half a shallot in my salad. It's better than red onion because they're much sweeter. I'm not sure if this is weird or not, but I like to put green beans in my salad. Just get these tinned ones from Sainsbury's. I'm gonna put some salt on there now. This is the goat's cheese I like to use. I prefer to use a hard goat's cheese. I think it tastes better in a salad. If you have time to put it in the oven and heat it up, then it's even better. This is the dressing I've been using. It's the closest thing to the salad dressing you get in French supermarkets. Last thing I put on top are some walnuts. It goes really well with the goat cheese and it's good for your brain. I put a small handful of walnuts in. That's my favourite lunch to have when I'm working from home. I'm gonna go finish this at my desk and read something while I'm eating. And then I've got to get back to work, but I will speak to you later. I've just had a new mirror delivered. A lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be, but that's my fault because I never measure anything. It's going to replace this little mirror. This mirror sits in our hallway. It's just at the top of these stairs and at the bottom of these little ones. At the top of these stairs is our living room and dining room. That's where we do our work from home. Obviously the sofa's in there. I really want to try and get this mirror in the spot. There's also a chance that it doesn't fit across this section, but that's also my fault. The good news is that it fits, so I can now take outfit pictures in a mirror that doesn't squash me. I just have to get rid of the massive box that I've now got in my hallway. It's about 5 o'clock, I've just had a shower and I'm getting ready to go out for dinner. I thought I would do a mini Q&A because I got a lot of similar questions in my Q&A box on Instagram last week. The kind of questions that I thought would be better answered in long form. The first question that comes up the most is about my career path. So I thought I would start there, but I guess it also is kind of important that I talk about what I studied at university and how I got all of those jobs. So we'll start from the beginning. I graduated in 2019 from the University of Edinburgh. I have a master's degree in economics, but I don't actually think it matters that much what degree you study at university. Yes, it can help you get into some specific jobs like accounting, or if you want to be a lawyer, obviously study law, that kind of stuff. Throughout my consulting career, I met so many people that did different degrees to me. Not just a little bit different, not like business or accounting, like really different degrees like history, geography, English, all of the different types of degrees. And we all ended up doing the same type of job. Keep that in mind if you're worrying about what degree to study or what degree you have when you're going out looking for jobs. What economics did teach me was how to be good at problem solving and how to get confident with numbers, which has actually been really helpful for a lot of my career, but not essential. My first job out of uni was in corporate finance, and so I do think my degree definitely helped me get that job. Again, economics wasn't a necessity of having the job. I think it was more the fact that I had a master's degree that was useful to get that job. I was in the Treasury department for a FTSE 250 company, which does require a relatively high level of financial literacy when you're doing the job. A lot of which I learned on the job, but because I had a background in economics, it made it a little bit easier to understand. I went down the corporate finance route because I don't really know what else to do, and because of my degree, that's kind of what everyone ended up doing after uni, going into some sort of finance job. And I heard the money was good, so I figured why not give it a shot, and I wanted to move to London pretty much straight away after uni, so that was a good way of getting down there. I enjoyed it for a while. I enjoyed being in London and kind of living the lifestyle for a bit, but I very quickly got bored when I realised that you would be doing the same thing every single month in the role, and it just wasn't interesting enough for me to stick at it for any longer. I wanted to learn more new things quickly, and when I realised there was nobody in my team whose job I wanted, it was time for me to move on. I had a few friends who had gone into consulting straight after uni. They made it sound really interesting. You were doing different things pretty much every couple of months, and I thought that would be brilliant because then I wouldn't be able to get bored. I got a job at a consulting firm that specialised in financial services, which again played into a lot of my skill set. Unfortunately, I didn't have a great time because I was put onto a really big client account, but I wasn't given a manager, so it was just me and the client, and as a very junior consultant, I didn't really feel like I was being given the opportunity to learn from someone who was actually good at the job. But I did leverage it into a job with a much smaller company in a higher position. And because I'd had that consulting experience, even if it was just for a short period of time, it allowed me to talk about it in interviews and kind of showcase what I had learned. So after that, I went on to be a product manager for a much smaller, kind of a startup company who were launching new products after the pandemic to help support their core business. And I had a few ideas. It was all a bit of a whirlwind. I started helping them build this product that they needed, acting almost as an internal consultant, which was amazing exposure to how a business is run, and safe to say I found it extremely stressful, but also learned so much, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do that. But after it launched, I got a call from an old manager of mine at my first consultancy who offered me a job at a much bigger firm. And I would be going in as a senior consultant, which was the level I wanted to be at the time. So I thought it was a good move, and I was going to do something new and interesting, and I ended up staying at that firm for 3 years. That's where I was up until very recently when I quit my job. In that role, I got to managing consultant, and after a couple of years, the opportunity to try a chief of staff type role came up. I kind of asked for it, but it was required because the person who was doing it before me left. So I did that up until when I left, and again, I learned so much about how a business is run and how to manage the people in the teams so that everyone always has resources. And now I'm self-employed. I'll get to how I started on social media in a minute, because that was another question that I was asked quite a lot. But a couple of things that I've learned throughout my career and job hopping quite a lot is that you probably don't think you have the skills that you need, but it's most likely you do. You just have to frame it in the right way. So coming out of uni, I really didn't think that I had any of the right skills to go into a finance job. Even with an economics degree, I didn't do any finance internships or work experience or anything like that. I worked for a startup in my last summer of uni before I went into my final year. The best advice I can give you if you're struggling with interviews or CVs is really tailoring your CV and your answers to the job that you're applying for. That means you have to really research the company, research the role. It's just a matter of telling the truth, but twisting it into the story that they want to hear for the role. I had the same anecdotes, the same kind of evidence for all the questions I was being asked in all my jobs, but I just had to phrase them slightly differently for each of the interviews that I did. I kind of learnt this the hard way. The very first interview that I did whilst I was still at uni looking for graduate jobs was with a small boutique finance firm in Edinburgh, and it was very clear that I didn't know what the job was or what they did as a company, and it was really embarrassing. I felt awful after doing the interview, but I learned so much from failing in that interview. And I also, once I did do a bit more research, I didn't want the job anyway, but it was such a wake-up call for me to understand what it was that I needed to do in an interview. So that was a great experience, and yes, it was embarrassing and it was painful, and I felt really bad for wasting their time, but it meant that every other interview I did after that, I was so much better prepared, and interviews stopped freaking me out. I was ready for the questions that they were going to ask me. I've done all my makeup and I've barely answered one question, but I'm going to keep going on this one. I have jumped around jobs a lot, and I would say that's actually been a really beneficial thing for me. I doubled my salary jumping jobs much quicker than I did staying in one role, but I know that the market's very different now, so I'm not suggesting that that's what people do. Definitely a quicker way to move up the ladder. And I've also learned way more skills than I would have if I just stayed in one job, I think. I guess that kind of leads me into how I got into social media. A couple of years ago, I was really struggling with confidence in my job, and I needed something to hold me accountable to going into the office, dressing up and showing up for myself. I started doing posts on social media to force me to dress up and actually go into the office. And it kind of snowballed from there and really helped with my confidence. And obviously now I've quit my job. It definitely paid off. It started as a hobby, and now it's allowed me to go on to do lots of other things that I really wanted to do. And social media is not my full-time job. I'm starting a business, but it's definitely helped me jump from corporate to self-employed much easier. I've had a few questions about my hair care. So whilst I'm in the bathroom, I may as well show you that. I wash my hair once a week and style it once a week. At the moment, these are my favourite hair care products that I've been using in the shower. This is the Living Proof Clarifying Detox Shampoo, and this is the Living Proof Rescue Mask. And I use these once a week and it makes my hair so light and fluffy. After I wash my hair, I use one of these microfiber towels to start the drying process. I only leave it in there for a little bit because I usually style my hair whilst it's wet. Before I style it, I put this anti-frizz glaze milk in from Kerastase. It stops the frizziness, which is essential in London when it's raining all the time, and it acts as a heat protectant. I style my hair with the Shark Air Wrap thing, and then once I've styled it, I put the Flex hairspray in. And my hair usually lasts about 5 days. If I need a top up in the week, I use this Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo, also from Living Proof. They are my favourite hair care brand. The trick I use to keep my blowout good overnight is that I flip everything forward like this, and I literally just put it as high on top of my head as possible. I twist it up and then I twist it round in a bun, and then I take a claw clip and I put it in the front so that I can still sleep on my side because I'm a side sleeper, but you could also sleep on the back because it's so far on top of your head, and that just helps keep my blowout for a few more days than if I didn't do it. That's really it for hair care. Sometimes I'll use this Kerastase hair oil as well to make the ends look nice and glossy. I'm gonna go and get changed and then we'll answer some more questions. I don't have a huge amount of time before I have to head out the door, but I'm going to try and answer a couple more questions. One that comes up a lot is how to survive corporate life or London life. Firstly, corporate life. Make sure you put processes in place that stop you from having to think about things like food, workout routines, outfits. Think about them all as processes that you just repeat daily without having to think about it, and it really takes the mental load off. If you have enough money, get a cleaner and start doing meal prep services. That kind of stuff really does take the load off. And I always think exercise is like the best way to wind down after a stressful week or day. In terms of London life, it's a bit more difficult. I think London can be really hard if you are not from here and you move down without knowing that many people. When I moved down, I found it really difficult. I moved down without my boyfriend, without my family. I had a few friends, but everyone is really busy, obviously, with work and meeting new people. So I had to really make an effort to go and see people and make sure I wasn't on my own. And that doesn't come naturally to me. But I now have a really lovely group of friends, and my boyfriend has moved down. We live together. It has taken a couple of years to really settle in. The other thing that I get a lot of questions about is my brand that I'm starting and One Lane. I know I'm being really annoying and not telling you what it is. It's only because we're really quite early on in the process still. I will tell you as soon as I can. But the brand is called One Lane, and the name comes from a saying that me and my friends used to say to each other when we were at uni. We would say, stay in your lane, because we would all, as girls, start comparing ourselves to other people, and that made us really unhappy in university, but also when we started our jobs. And we use the saying now as well, which is really lovely, and it means a lot to me. Because I used to say it when I was going through really tough times, and definitely the mentality has helped with designing the life that I want and kind of thinking only about me and not worrying what other people were doing. So that's why it's called One Lane. Last question I'm going to answer is what I film on. I get a lot of questions about this on TikTok and on YouTube. For TikTok, I just use my phone. I've got the iPhone 17 Pro. I just use that. The front camera is amazing, as well as the back camera. On YouTube, you're currently on the Canon G7X Mark III, but I flip between that and the iPhone 17 when I'm out and about. So I kind of use a bit of both. I'm still working on sound quality because I know when I go out and about and use my phone, the sound quality is not as good as this, but it's a work in progress. So if anyone has any tips on how to make that better, please let me know. I think that's it. I just need to get my bag together and work out what jacket I'm wearing. I just got this gorgeous coat from Grows. I'm not sure I'm gonna wear it today just because I'm wearing a lot of brown tones and this is a bit more grey. but I have to try it on because it's just so cool. They have this signature fastening at the top of their jackets and blazers, and it's just absolutely amazing. Super cool. I'm not sure I'm gonna wear it tonight, but absolutely love this. Can't wait to wear it next week to work. Dress code is smart casual, so I think this hits the mark. I'm obsessed with these shoes. I think they're so cool. I just don't know if they're gonna be very comfortable. I think I'm gonna wear this trench coat as a jacket. It feels spring-like, but is heavy enough to be warm. And I feel like it goes well with the outfit. This is the outfit I'm wearing out tonight. These shoes are from H&M Studio. This leather skirt is also from H&M. It is actually brown, but it looks kind of black. My shirt is from Grows. I love it. It's such good quality. And I have my Jimmy Fairley sunglasses. I need to go and put my jewellery on actually. And then we are ready to go. Got a cab home from my dinner. It was such a lovely evening. The venue was great. The people there were lovely. Met a few new faces. Did a bit of networking, which is very unlike me. I'm gonna jump in the shower now and then get ready for bed. We have an early start in the morning. I'm driving my boyfriend to the train station so he can catch a flight to a stag do. So I'm gonna try and get as much sleep as possible. I'm gonna finish my evening skincare and go to bed, so I'm gonna say goodbye to you here. Hope you enjoyed my little work from home day. I'm gonna try and film, probably not next week, but the week after, a weekend vlog so that I can show you a proper weekend in my life. Hope everyone has a good week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.